Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thank you all for joining us today for Wise Guys Fintech Demo Day. My name is Andra Bogdanaite. I am the Fund Associate and Program Manager here at Startup Wise Guys. And it's my pleasure to introduce the 11 teams that have completed our Accelerator program. During the past 5 months, we were very lucky. We had a chance to work with 11 amazing teams to start the program on site here in Vilnius, Lithuania. During this time, the teams have met with more than 100 mentors, they had 50 workshops, and this journey was quite something. It was full of ups and downs, and now the startups are ready for their next big steps. But before we begin, I would like to introduce Jona Vaitulevičiūtė, Partner and Managing Director of Fintech Program here at Startup Wise Guys, to say a few words. Yes, so I'm sure that Jona is getting ready, and we can already see that her slides are being put up. So Jona was...
Hello, everyone.
She's here.
Yeah, I think year into Zoom, we still don't really know how to properly mute or unmute, but that's, I think, absolutely fine in these days, as long as it's not a cat video or cat filter on me. And thank you all definitely for joining and watching. We tuned in a little bit, like dialed in with the team this morning, and I think the mood is really great. I think intrinsically it's like something that we feel like it is an accomplishment. We know, like we see that a lot. It's just the beginning of the journey. And definitely in reality, we see who is who 6 months after the program. And not during Accelerator, but somehow it really feels as a big day. We feel that we have executed things pretty well, but mostly, like I'm personally and together with the team, we're happy to have had this opportunity to work actually with amazing founders. All the time when someone asks me, why do you do what you do? I think there is nothing more that, drives me really than being able to be challenged by the founders myself. And today you will see why I'm so excited, because I think they're great. So we are here we arrived at this milestone, the demo day. And for us as a company, it was really also great experience. And I think something very new also, because no matter that it was fourth fintech program, it was something that we tried with a big institutional investor as European back from Reconstruction and Development. And we were really happy it was to work with them, because it was, I think, a good sign for us as a company, as well as a good sign for the region that we can work with, big institutions like this and actually find a really good path towards communication together with startups. So it was amazing. We have the representatives here today. I'm really happy to have you tuning in and listening to this. And I think also startups can tell themselves, how much they have benefited or not working with EBRD. And besides that, of course, we have our partners that support startups on the industry side, on the knowledge and community. And I've always mentioned that, and without, saying, really big thanks to all of them. We don't have partners just for logos or for, marketing purposes. We actually really want to know that startups can benefit from them, and that vice versa. The companies actually are learning and, really developing internally. And we have this startup mindset growing within our community, and more companies are joining. So I'm really also grateful for all of the partners here who have been very active in supporting startups and have kind of really led them from even the selection part to where we are today. And of course, this is how we started. And I think we only have a couple of people who are actually at the same place today in ROCKIT co-working, while the rest of us is everywhere around Lithuania or the globe. coping, kind of dealing with the realities of today. But we were super lucky, I think, to be able to meet face to face, to actually talk, to share, and kind of show what the power of community really means. So our startups joined the actual Accelerator program back in October, and here they are, 9 fintech teams and 2 SaaS teams that we were super happy to work with, and we will super happily continue working together. And you will hear from them. So I will not go through each one of them. I think you need to hear from them, from the founders of those teams, and see, what they have done and what they are capable of. And they are really strong. And I say that not because they're very strong in business, but they also kind of dived into this adventure of really taking 4 months of acceleration program, which is always a big what if, like, should I do this or not? Will it consume all of my time? Can I focus on my business? And indeed, it is intensive, right? And especially considering the realities of today. This is, I think we also mentioned that back in December, you expect everything to go like this. And in reality, everything is very different. In the startup world and also on the program side, you expect to work on site, and then someone says, no, you have to actually work from home. Mentors cannot come in. So we had to adapt. But I think we executed it pretty well, and the teams were amazing at actually dealing with this. So we started on site, as I mentioned. We had our own acceleration space. We even had live workshops, but of course, we had to move everything online, right? And we really, I think, this program was the representation of the year 2020, where we had to, go from kind of one mode of working to another, expecting that everything will be better by February. But I remember myself saying back in November, we'll be back. We are on Zoom as we were, but at least actually we really managed to get everything done. When we think about Accelerator, we executed all the workshops that we wanted. We had all the mentors and even more than we wanted. We heard many pitches, drank a lot of coffee to stay awake. But this is how I think a lot of the ecosystem sees the Accelerator, as some kind of a university, somewhere where you sit and listen. But my own purpose is actually to show that Accelerator is really meant to accelerate your business and to do business, to teach how to actually go very, very fast. If you want, fail fast, but don't drag it for too long. And the real business actually has happened. And I'm super happy to share those numbers, because for me, it almost like I asked the team, like, can we recalculate? Like, is it true what has happened? The teams overall made over 14,000 sales calls. So sorry if someone bothered you by calling and hello, this is me, we're offering this, but in reality, this is what happened. And it doubled from the progress day. So it really, we started in October and November to focus more on putting the process in place, how to run LinkedIn and call campaigns. And this is, the result that we have. And actually it has translated into very, very actionable things. So on the progress day, we had around 100 new B2B clients, whereas on the demo day, it's almost 800 new B2B clients over 11 teams, right? So this is what, for me, acceleration really is. It's not a kind of doubling, it's not tripling, but it's actually growing exponentially. And we see the effect of what we started back in October. On the demo day, we have over 800 new B2B clients. And also for some teams that are also facing the B2C side, its number of users tripled from almost 10,000 on the progress day to almost 30,000 plus now. So I think the numbers, speak for themselves. And the question, are they paying users? The usual one, yes, they are, right? So we actually doubled the revenues of the companies. Definitely this is something that we have the teams that are really in affected sectors of COVID, but still, I think the numbers show that none of the teams are here to give up and write everything down to COVID. So definitely the hustle was happening. And one of the most important numbers for me is actually this. the number of people that have been hired by our startups. And compared to 14,000 calls, 30 new employees might not look so significant, but when we look back, it's almost like one new team member per month per team. And this is considering that all of them started with pre-seed investment, right? So this is something that they managed to do in 4 months under like quite a lot of pressure, I would say, not with extensive budgets, really growing teams from SDR side, from top management level. And when we talk about impact on the ecosystems, and I think more and more we now see how actually startups influence the economy, how many taxes are paid, how many new employees are hired. So I'm super happy about that. And I definitely want you now to see, those founders behind those teams and behind those numbers who are driving all this force. So that's all from me. I really hope that got you excited. And now over to you, Andra.
Thank you, Jana. And now, without further ado, let's move into the pitch part. So today, the pitches will be split into 3 parts. In each part, we will have a dedicated jury to ask questions. The startups will have 3 minutes for the pitch and 5 minutes for the Q&A. But those of you who are watching us on YouTube, you can also ask questions. Basically, all you have to do is post your question on the chat, and I will read it to the teams once we go through the jury's questions. And now, I would like to introduce the first group of jury for today. So, I'd like to welcome Rita Sakus, angel investor and board member at Lidbon. Andres Berzens, managing partner at Change Ventures. And Tony Neaston, Senior Associate at OpenOcean. So welcome, guys. We are really happy to have you here today. The first startup to pitch today is Realtify. I have first met Vlad in July. He already knew about Startup Wise Guys, but back then he just launched the product and didn't have any revenues. He was telling to us, guys, I can reach 2K in MRR easily. And we said, yeah, once we see the numbers, then we will believe you. But after a couple of weeks, he comes back to us and he's saying, okay, so here's the 2K MRR. We were like, okay, that's good. Then after a couple extra weeks, he comes back and he's saying, okay, 6K in MRR. So we were like, okay, this guy can definitely deliver and he is on to something good. So Vlad, if you're ready, I would like to welcome you to start today's pitch session. I see that we have Vlad on the screen, but he is still opening his slides. It's always tricky. It has been a while since we are in this online world, but still.
Wonderful. Here I am. Thank you, Andra. Thank you very much. It's actually a great honor to be the first one to pitch today. So here we are. I guess you see my screen. So let's start it. Hi, my name is Vladislav. I'm from Realtify, and I'm here to tell you about our company. First of all, let me tell you about myself. I worked in nearly every stage of real estate industry. I'm an architect by education. I used to be a real estate agent, investment associate, and property developer at one point. But believe me, 90% of my job is basically collecting and analyzing data to prepare market research, property evaluations, and different projections. But how do real estate professionals in CE collect and analyze data? Well, they do it manually, as I did 20 years ago, getting the lowest quality of data possible. And hiring someone will cost you thousands, as those experts are quite expensive. Well, and even with that, it still takes up to 6 weeks to reach required deep level of detail. So that's why we have created Realtify. It's a real estate data platform that provides precise valuations in data for real estate professionals with our 2 main products: property valuation tool with instant and precise pricing, and market research tool with millions of daily updated data points. But how do we do it? We collect and enrich data from more than 650 data sources in CE, creating the largest residential real estate data set in CE. We transform real estate companies into data-driven companies by saving up to 50 hours every month and increasing their revenues up to 6% annually. Who are our clients? They are developers, real estate agents, institutional investors, asset managers, and PropTech companies, and we charge them from 200 euros per month to 2,000 euros per month based on the data volume with 1 year long contracts. At this point, there are 20,000 real estate companies in the CE, and our goal is to get 365 of those as our clients by 2022 in Czechia, Poland, and Slovakia. Against competitors, we have the largest amount of data sources, the largest real estate data set, and unique and sharpest proprietary valuation model without black box. Our team consists of 12 fully committed members, with me being sole founder, and our expertise lies in big data, real estate analysis, and machine learning. During the Accelerator, our revenue grew 3 times to the 25,000 euros MRR. We hired 6 new team members, and our client count grew to 25 companies. Our clients are the leaders of the real estate market in Czech Republic and Slovakia. We are asking for 600,000 euros as a seed investment to reach 85,000 euros MRR and become #1 solution for real estate analysis in Czechia, Slovakia, and Poland. Well, make a screenshot, get in touch with us if you want to help property professionals make calculated real estate decisions. Thank you. First speech done. And now for the questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Vlad. That was a great presentation. I'll go first.
Wonderful.
For questions, I'd like to understand, how did you come up with the 600,000 that you're going to need for the next 12 months? And how are you sure that that's going to be enough and will bring you to the MRR of 85,000 that you wished?
Well, I believe that the most important thing in the early stage company is sales. And basically, that's how much money I need to get more salespeople and enough coding guys to just support them. So right now, we were growing up to 40% per, yes, we grew 40x times since the August. So if we project our growth and sales rate to the next 12 months, that's where we're going to get. So basically, we need to extend our team to additional, hire new salespeople, improve our product, and get to new markets.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Maybe I'll go next. Thank you, Vlad, for the good presentation. I've heard it before, but it still continues to be a good one. One question maybe on market selection. You are planning to go abroad, but in my understanding, the real estate market is fairly different in different countries. So my question is that how much of the data that you already procure can be used in different countries, and how many new sources are you going to need, and then how cumbersome is that process of expanding to new geographies?
Well, the good thing is we already have all the data we need for Slovakia and nearly 65% of the data we need for Poland. We're already scraping daily data from every property development in 8 main Polish markets and 2 main Slovakian markets, and of course Czech Republic ones. Even though the languages are different, the property stays the same. It always has a size and it always has a price per square meters. So that's how we're doing it. We already really ready to expand to those markets. We already have data sources, and our team excels in creating and scraping data.
And maybe a follow-up question on the data. Then what is the kind of unit economics there, since you're kind of buying data and packaging it and selling it again? So how does the unit economics work for you guys?
Well, basically, we have 4 data acquisition engineers who cost us 3,000 euros per month altogether, and they deliver us 100 new data sources each month. So basically, 30 euros per data source.
You don't have to pay anything else but the engineer cost to get.
Yes, that's only on engineer cost. I mean, yes, so far it is.
Interesting.
Okay, so just to follow on that, so the data source that you're getting that's not copyrighted in any way, they're public sources.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Wonderful. So, anything else?
So thank you.
All right, save those questions for other guys.
Yeah, thank you, Jory, for the questions. If there are no more questions, I can read one question that we have on YouTube from Peter. So he's asking, Vlad, what could be your potential exit strategy?
Well, at this point, we're planning to grow to the east and tap into those, let's say, data low markets of the Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, Ukraine, and further. And our exit strategy is to be acquired at some point by one of the larger real estate companies, preferably data companies, which exist already in the West and concentrating on the German, UK, and French markets.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Vlad. Thank you, Jory, for your questions. And now let's move to the second one. The second startup today is Heavy Finance. And we at Startup Wise Guys, it seems like we really like crowdfunding solutions. We have invested in quite a few businesses that are doing just that. But, you know, the question is, how creative can you be with crowdfunding solutions? I mean, there are quite a few of them, right? But this team has proven that you can, because they allow people to invest in something quite crazy as heavy machinery. So Laimonas, the CEO and founder of Heavy Finance, I would like to welcome you on the virtual stage.
Hi all, do you hear me well? Yeah, so welcome guys to Heavy Finance. So our team is on a mission to transform agricultural financing into an online marketplace. And let me explain you why it's needed. Traditional financials, it's very counterintuitive, but farmers really lack of funding in the European Union. And the reason for that is that traditional financial institutions are created to serve large customers, while 93% of the farmers are small in size in Europe. That's why we created Heavy Finance, a borderless core lending platform where farmers meet retail and institutional investors. As a Heavy Finance, we underwrite the farmer, we facilitate the transaction, and we service the loans. Current existing market in Europe for agriculture lending is around 330 billion euros. According to Eurostat, there is a gap of 30 billion euros more. So we created a solution which suits small farmers. We do not require down payment. We create the flexible repayment schedules. We finance used equipment, and these solutions are really liked by our clients. As our business model, the average loan size we're providing is around 60,000 euros, and we take from 2 to 4% commission on each loan we provide. Our metrics is growing really fast. We were established last year at June, and we already financed 3 million euros. Our revenue growth is superb, as we this month we ended up having 35,000 in monthly revenue. We have a community of more than 1,300 investors. In the year 2022, we plan to have a yearly revenue of 2.5 million and have already financed 64 million loans. As we're building a global investor community, we're taking a multi-local approach while serving the farmers. We are currently operating in Bulgaria, Lithuania, and Portugal, and we have a plan to scale in Romania, Poland, and Spain, which is our frontier markets. This firm, Heavy Finance, is created by experienced founders. We are all experienced, and we already run and exited successful companies. As for now, we are raising 750K, preferably in Q2, to expand in 3 more countries and achieve 200,000 euros in monthly revenue. Currently, we are looking for a lead investor, so welcome to lead us and join our round. Thank you.
Thank you, Laimonas. And Jory, now we are open to your questions. I'm sure that
maybe I'll go. Maybe I'll go first. Maybe yet another question on market sizing. how big do you think the market opportunity is for you guys, and kind of how far do you get on this engine that you've built?
So basically, we are aiming for our primary target is to expand the market. So even if there is a market of 330 billion euros in Europe, the 30 billion is missing. So our target, first of all, is to expand the market. But what we learned that with the product we created, we're actually tapping into the market which is already existing, and we already competing in a with a bigger guys who already serve farms which own 500 hectares, and these guys are already on our platform. So I believe that it's unlimited, and we can easily create a unicorn here in Europe only.
That brings me to the follow-up question. You just mentioned that you can also win over larger farms, and my very limited understanding of the farming market is that there is kind of constant consolidation going on, and farms are becoming larger and larger. So is that a problem for you guys, or is that an opportunity for you guys, the consolidation?
So it's both. You see, as I mentioned, the small farms, they do not receive proper financing. That means their farms are not properly efficient, so the bigger guys are overtaking them. And what we learn about the economy at school is actually, the economy is built on small entities more than on large ones. So with everyone's effort, we should seek that the market should be segregated as much as possible.
More questions from, oh, we do.
Yeah, I was going to ask a question.
Very
Thanks,
good.
Lamely, for your presentation. I'm interested in learning more about what are the risks to your business in terms of anything from new government subsidies, potentially EU related, to changes to the climate. Do you foresee any risks that that could affect the size of your business and the growth?
So when I speak to DCs, I say that we are in the execution risk business. So it's only the execution, and is the team ready to execute what we plan? So that's, as for now, that's the only thing I foreseen. And the reason is that all European initiatives actually support small and medium enterprises, and that's where we are tapping into. And even now, we just signed a contract with the government to support the Lithuanian farmers. They are looking for financial intermediaries. They are looking how to help the small farms, but the traditional financial institutions are not ready to provide that. So that's happening everywhere in Europe, and that's the way it is.
So would there potentially be more competition for you once they realize that this is a good market to tap into?
Yeah, we will have a competition. That's and I hope so. That proves that you're in the correct market. But we trust our team. We know that if we go fast, we will create enough revenue to keep on growing and stay on a leader side.
And why did you pick these three markets to start with?
So for us, as I mentioned shortly on the presentation, there are three things important to choose a market. So one is a financial gap in the country. Two is a bank's concentration, and three is a labor cost efficiency in the market. So for us, the three most important is Spain, Poland, and Romania. These are big ones, frontier markets where we have our biggest fights. The tier 2 countries is Lithuania, Portugal, Bulgaria, Hungary, and a few others. So now we chose to go for a smaller ones to leave a space when the VC join us, so we can both together decide which one is the main market we're focusing to fight. So either Poland or Spain or Romania.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Juri, and thank you, Laimonas. We have quite a few questions on YouTube, actually, so it seems like people are really passionate about investing in and supporting those farmers. But I'll read out just one of them. So what is the share of retail and institutional investors already on the platform, and why retail investors should choose your platform out of all the others?
Yeah, so all the majority of investments are still done by the retail investors, even if we do have institutional ones joining. That's very normal. We are 8 months company, so the the risk is there to join a small company, and that's most of the time is done by retail investors, right? So, but yet again, you have to a little bit think further on what how we're doing. So we are lending against the existing business, which already has a land and a farm behind it. And we also take heavy equipment as a collateral to reduce the risk. And this heavy equipment is super liquid. It always has a market. So we are giving investors a downside. You know, if there is a downturn in the economy, that's never affected for a farmer. So we have a downturn agnostic asset class to offer for investors.
All right, thank you, Limonas. Thanks a lot for being here with us today. And now let's move on to the third startup. So the third startup today is Pay2You. And Pay2You is a team that actually participated in our online pre-accelerator program. They were already making money in their home market, which is Russia, but they wanted to enter Europe. You know, we thought, okay, so how coachable is this team? Can we test them in the pre-accelerator program? Can they work with us in the accelerator program? And then we saw that they passed the whole pre-accelerator very diligently. So we understood, you know, okay, we can work with this team, we can help them, and we can bring Pay2You to Europe together. So now I would like to introduce Seva, the CBDO and co-founder of Pay2You, to tell you more about how they will conquer the market. Seva, are you ready?
Yep. Thank you for the introduction, and I can start. So, good afternoon, dear colleagues. My name is Seva, and I want to represent Pay2You, a platform for creating super apps. So we solve the problem of low customers' lifetime value for banks, telcos, and other large businesses. Their apps currently cover only 1 or 2 user demands and miss various additional benefits. Well, for example, I'm using the bank application on my phone once a year to set up automatic payments for utility bills, and then a couple of times per month to transfer a small amount of money to my friends. So the bank does not make money on me, and we practically do not interact with each other. Pay2You embeds affiliate services, offers, and content, and turns apps into super apps. We build in partner services using up-and-up technology and provide a unique seamless experience for user when he can book a table in a restaurant, call a taxi, or buy a ticket without leaving the core application and get a cashback reward for that action. When I started using the Pay2You solution in the app of my telecom, I've received additional values such as earnings and savings, convenience, new emotions, and responsible consumption. The benefit of working with us lies in saving all costs for the management, development of affiliate programs, as well as an possibility to increase transaction income and engagement rates. Also, who doesn't want to become a new WeChat, right? We have more than 17,000 potential clients in the European region, and cooperation with our existing clients confirmed 5x increase in the frequency of purchases, increased revenue per user up to 40%, and growth of all engagement rates up to 120%. We are profitable, and our MRR is 15k euros. We already work with all top telecoms in Russia, with several banks from top 10, and currently, right now, we are preparing the solution for Telia Smart Family and Bite. Our team possesses deep expertise gained from many years of experience. We do know how to conduct this business, and we have practical experience and ready-to-use product to embed third-party services and create super app just in 1 month. And that's why corporates are choosing us. Right now, we are looking for networking with banks and telcos, and also we want to raise 300k for European marketing and sales. Dear colleagues, here is my contact information. Please make a screenshot and let's build super apps in Europe together. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Seva. Thanks a lot. Thank you for the pitch. Jury, do we have some questions about the super app?
Yeah, I can go first. Hey, this is an interesting concept, which my guess is trying to replicate what's happening in China in terms of the way super apps operate in a very different app ecosystem. So what are the financial arrangements that you foresee between you and the various app owners, and how do you sort of, if I was a customer, how do you convince me that, you know, that my consumers who I bring to your platform will spend enough time, you know, working with me and maintaining the relationship with me, as opposed to doing all sorts of other things on the super app? Because that's, you know, the reason that a business has their own app in the first place is because they want to engage directly with the consumer.
Yep, thank you very much for the question. First of all, yeah, you're absolutely right. The trend is coming from China, but it's already booming in the Middle East. It is booming in Russia, and we deeply think that it will boom in Europe in the next few months. So about the last part of your question, why should the company engage those customers to our platform? I wanna make this concrete, that we are not implementing our own application. We are embedding those services inside the existing app of bank or telco. So you can imagine that you have got the banking app, and there is, for example, a lifestyle button. You click on this lifestyle button, and you receive all those offers, all those, I don't know, services that you are using at the everyday basis as widgets built deeply inside the banking or telecom app. So for the bank, we speak about the engagement, the transactional activity, and those metrics. And for those merchants who we embed inside the banking app, we are speaking about the lead generation model. So the leads that are generating from the banks and telecom audience.
So it's actually not a super app where you are embedding the banking applications. It's actually you could say a collection of affiliate and other programs which you are offering to embed in each of your clients' apps. Am I understanding this right?
We do turn the app into a super app. So we improve the app that has only one, maybe two user scenarios, user demands. We make the whole ecosystem from this existing app.
And so last question. And so is this a custom project for every single client? It sounds pretty, different for different kinds of clients.
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you for this. Thank you for this one. I want to say that based on our experience, we have never ever made the two similar super apps, because every company has its own vision, how they will, develop in the future, how they want to work with the audience. So we make those solutions customized to our clients' demands. We are not providing the box.
So this is kind of what I was going to ask. It sounds like there are a lot of moving parts to the business. So can you tell us about the sales cycle and what your sales strategy is?
Yep, of course. Well, I will start with the end of the question about the sales strategy. So we made deeply research. We understood that our primal markets in Europe are UK, Netherlands, and Spain. So right now we are raising those 300K on hiring some sales guys to implement this sales strategy, to make this marketing strategy to enter those markets. Right now, when we are new guys to the European market, obviously, we used two things: old school outbound, LinkedIn and email, and thanks to Startup Wise Guys, we used SVG network. So that was like the first entering strategy. And now we will work with those sales guys and marketing. So speaking about the sales cycle, it pretty much depends on the the vision of our client. Our solution is ready, is absolutely boxed and everything. We can make the super app in 1 month. But we know that we work with corporates, So, well, I guess we all know that it sometimes may take a long time to make those contracts signed and everything. So usually it takes averagely 3 months from the first call to the signing, to the contract signed with the corporate client.
And once you've signed the contract, then you still have the implementation phase, which was 1 month, or
I'm sorry, I didn't get the question. The first part.
like once you've gotten to contract phase, then you start kind of implementing your app into the corporate app.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, when we are preparing the contract, of course, we are first of all discussing the, I don't know what the clients want to see in the app. For example, which widgets, which services. We are preparing the screens in those corporate guides. So the work is not, I don't know, standing in one point.
Right.
I mean, yeah, we are preparing the solution, and when the contract is signed, we are ready to implement it and you know, make a kickoff.
Got it. I think we're running out of time, but thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, that is correct. We are running out of time, but we actually have one more question on YouTube. So Seva, what I would recommend is to go there and answer that question directly. And actually all of the startups, you should definitely do that. So thanks, Seva, and thanks, Jory.
Thank you very much, guys.
And now the last startup in this first group is Okredo. So, you know, you may ask, how sexy can credit bureau information get? And when we first heard about Okredo, we thought this is something that was probably created many years ago and definitely not something that can change the future. But then we were really encouraged to talk to the team and to talk to Gerda. And when we met her, she sold us the whole idea that data can change the future and that open information can get much better than it already is. So I see that Gerda is already prepared to present to you and tell you more about Okredo. So Gerda, let's go. I think that we cannot hear you, so please just check if you are not on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay. So hello, everybody. I'm Gerda, CEO and co-founder at Okredo. Beside COVID and Brexit, significant changes are actually happening in Europe right now. An open data directive was confirmed, and due to it, till this July, all countries will have to open data about companies, its financials, ownerships, etc. This enables many possibilities for businesses to use this data for different purposes. But the problem that faces SMEs is that data which could be used for both sales and credit risk management in the majority of countries is fragmented in different sources, and due to its complexity is difficult to collect and understand. Therefore, there is a need in the market for the solution enabling data to talk and get companies solve this problem. So Okredo is an open data platform providing open data, free scores, free financial ratios, and insights in both freemium and premium accounts so that companies could mitigate risk and increase sales. We set a new standard in data industry by joining open data, open banking, and credit bureau functionalities. So all this combined enables us to say that if traditional data providers and credit bureaus are like a map stating the object and the address, we are like a navigation, because we show a shorter and faster way to high quality prospects. We say, hey, go and sell there, and risky routes to avoid, because we say, please be aware of these risky partners. So during the next 5 years, we have a leading to be an open data platform in Europe. And actually, we believe in this vision because last year we achieved more than 400,000 euro revenues, 10,000 freemium users, from which 1,500 upgraded to premium accounts. And also, we are very proud to be nominated by Startup Wise Guys and European Institute of Innovation as one of 11 the most perspective, fast-growing and promising startups from the Baltics. So yes, we are strong and sales-oriented. Our team consists of data and finance industry veterans with more than 100 110 years of experience together. Me personally, 13 years was working in credit bureau, lecturing in university, have PhD in this field, which empowers me to follow the vision every day, every morning, and strongly believe in it. And at this moment, we are seeking for 1.2 million euro revenues funding by 2 rounds to scale to 3 new markets. And we already have data from 2 of these markets, 2 of these countries, and a commitment from investors for some part of funding. So please feel free to contact to hear us more about us, data and sales maniacs. Thank you.
Thank you, Gerda. Thank you for the presentation. I love the picture of your team where you are here in ROCKIT. I wish
that
you
was
were
good
here
times.
right now.
Yeah.
Jury, we are ready for your questions.
Hi, Gerda. I just love the passion that you exude about this area of credit information and data. Can you talk a little bit about any risks regarding changes to the regulatory environment? Are there any parties that are not happy about this open data policy in the EU? And might there be any risks that you might foresee down the line?
Thank you, Rita, for a very good question. Actually, I would say that the risks are on the content, on the level the countries are going to open, because still it's okay, it's regulated, but still there is a freedom for every country to decide on what level they will open data. And of course, in every country, there are different, stakeholders, interested parts, which doesn't want the data to be opened. But we see the trend that more and more countries are opening data, and we keep strong monitoring on this. We keep pulse on this. Every month we see that some countries are opening, and I would say that there are more possibilities than risks.
Are there any legal risks that you might assume for data being used the wrong way?
Maybe talking about shareholders data or CEO data compared to GDPR context, but it's now in negotiations in different countries, and there's no precedent for this topic now. But actually, I would say that it could be the topic. But still, it's only one set of data. There are many others, so. Okay. So it's not a problem. I would say that the key problem would be.
One final question then, if I could. What are the advantages to your being a PhD in this area? What does that bring to your team?
I would say the methodological approach, either we solve, for example, management process. Every key team member has KPIs. We work on balanced scorecard. We have every person in the company has KPIs. So I would say the methodological background by setting the process and the algorithmic structural thinking, something like that.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rita.
So if I can ask sorry, Tony, go on.
Sure, I can go first if you want. Just a quick question on the competitor landscape. It's quite a crowded field, a lot of people doing stuff in the field, maybe most of them more of the legacy type of players like Dun & Bradstreet and what have you, but how do you see yourself in that position? Is it more competing on quality or price, or a little bit of both?
Very, very good question, Ton. Actually, we compete in 3 areas: in open data, like freemium, in open banking, and credit bureaus area. And credit bureaus such as Bisnode, Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, Credit Info, etc., they are closed systems. It means that if the user wants to get data anytime 24/7, they have to make the contract, they have to be obliged, and they have to pay for this, etc. This system is open data platform where you can enter and get the data about the company you want anytime without any obligations and any restrictions. So I would say that flexibility, speed, price, and the know-how what we get from our previous experience would be the USP compared to credit bureaus.
Right.
Mainly speed and flexibility.
Yeah, I mean, you listed such a long list of benefits, then the question becomes, is there a business case in here somewhere as well? but yes.
Actually, there is, because you know, as I mentioned before, the conditions are changing now, because such business models as closed systems, they won't be able to exist anymore after a few years, because more and more countries are opening data, so they will be forced to change something. And then it becomes the topic about the time and speed. Who will be the first? No.
Right, and you have a head start. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Gerda, thanks. Fantastic pitch. Question for me is sort of what is the primary customer type that you're targeting now, sort of in the near term, and what is the use case that they are solving? What are they really using you for?
Yeah, so our ideal customer persona is a SME company which faces credit risk, and actually we have about 30 different criteria how to forecast that the company faces credit risk. For example, if in their financial statements we see receivable in days X, it means that they don't get cash in advance. They have payment in delay. It means that they faces credit risk, and their CFOs or CEO or credit experts, they need data to evaluate the risk. And of course, we see the growing potential and demand for enriching data with sales processes enriching with data.
Okay,
but
so
the main focus SMEs facing credit risk now at this moment.
Facing credit risk means they're using you instead of, say, credit info in order to assess suppliers.
Or in parallel, or they have a credit insurance as Cofa, Solar, Hermes, or Atradius, and they need to credit their own portfolio and their own risk. So it can be in parallel, it can be one in one place, it can be only data through API, it can be various scenarios.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so thank you, Jury, for your questions. Thank you, Gerda, for the answers. The questions were definitely tough, so you did a great job. And now I would like to thank the jury as well, because we are moving on to the second group of pitches and second group of jury members. So it's now the time to invite the second group of jury, obviously. So I'd like to welcome Lina Lass, founding partner at the Better Fund, Arvidas Blože, Investment Director at Praktika Capital, and Karol Szubstarski, Investment Director at OTB Ventures. So welcome, guys. And the first startup to pitch in this group is Xpass. So, you know, here in Lithuania, I have to admit, we are very jealous that Estonians have e-residency. But while we are being jealous and whining a little bit, Estonians are actually creating digital identity solutions for Latin America. The good news is that the co-founders of this team actually are from Latin America, and they have experienced those pains themselves. So I see that we already have Thomas here, the CPO and co-founder of Xpass, ready to present what are they doing. Thomas, are you ready?
All good.
Perfect. So the floor is yours.
Hey everyone, my name is Thomas. I'm the CPO of Xpass, where we believe that truly digital only starts by eliminating bureaucracy. Here in Europe, you're probably used to accessing a service with your Smart ID or a third-party provider like Verif or Jumio that grant you access in a couple of seconds. But the reality in Latin America is completely different. In fact, an average Mexican will spend 7 hours queuing every single month, and they wake up at 5 a.m. just so they can finish the same procedure in the same day without having to come the next day. And we thought the pandemic would change things, but nothing has changed. In fact, the lines are getting longer and things seem to be getting harder. And what this means for the government and businesses is cost. Every single physical application has a cost of around 100 euros worth. They're spending time queuing, and the experience, as you can expect, is just horrible. And we talked to a couple of governments about how they're going about fixing this. And they take on average 6 months to digitize just one procedure. And this is what they come up with. As Latin Americans, we couldn't tolerate this anymore, and we needed to change something. And that's why we founded Xpass. Xpass is a platform that allows government and businesses to create easy and simple to use electronic services. Businesses and governments can get set up in weeks instead of months, and they can get lower costs from day one by providing amazing experience. And the market potential here is huge. There are around 130,000 services to digitize just in the south of Mexico. And we charge around 200 euros per service, which is 10x lower than our current competitors. This leaves us at a market cap of 320 million euros per year just in the south of Mexico. And the competitor landscape is even more motivating. There are companies like Mati, which do very good individual KYC, and companies like Findec, which all they do is take a piece of paper and turn it into digital. But they don't actually eliminate any of the bureaucracy. People still need to fill forms. And that's what we want to focus on, eliminating bureaucracy. We have a very strong team with experience in high growth startups like TransferWise and RD Station, where we were both product managers. But most importantly, we're very passionate about our mission, and we take it personally to impact Latin America. We reached 4,000 euros in revenue in the last 2 months by closing 2 deals with the government, which grant us around 10,000 users and allow us to digitize 4 services, creating e-services. Our product is launched and it's fully working right now. We raised 30K euros from SVG back in October, and now we're hoping to raise 130,000 euros to become the top 1 digital procedure solution in the southeast of Mexico by reaching 300,000 users in the next 12 months. We already have 30K committed. If you want to jump on this rocket and help us create a world without bureaucracy, just like we have in Europe, please, let's chat and create this world. Thank you.
All right. So thank you, Thomas. Thank you for the pitch. Jury, now we are ready for your questions.
Great presentation. Maybe happy to start. I would have a couple of questions, mostly around the technology and competitive landscape, because you mentioned that, well, the market in Mexico is basically untapped right now. But there are a number of players from Europe, from US, right, who are have pretty advanced solutions in terms of like OCR. OCR is being commoditized, and with ID verification models being pretty prevalent in many sectors already. So why would others, seeing the market potential of the Mexico and Latin America as a whole, what blocks them from entering those markets?
Great question, thanks. So one thing that needs to be clear is that we're not trying to compete against Verif, Jumio directly. They're providing document extraction tools to extract information from the documents and speed up ID verification. What we want to work with is procedures, these government procedures that are being done on paper. So we like to think of ourselves as the bridge between offline and online, and not optimizing the online already with these services that you see in fintechs and things like that.
Got it. So follow-up questions, because working with governments and municipalities, public institutions is a very challenging thing. The sales cycles, the discussions itself, and obviously even the check size, all of the elements are challenging. So what's your idea to reach those guys and to close?
Yeah, so we support not only government, but also businesses, some specific sectors. And we're focusing on businesses. We're doing both in parallel. And the reason for that is because we understand that the government contracts tend to be a little bit, the sales cycle tends to be bigger. Therefore, we focus on closing the business to bring some revenue and some product validation into us while closing the long-term contracts. But with the way we've been received, I'm actually in Mexico right now, and the way we've been received here in the municipalities is amazing. They are so fed up with the procedures, and they were being overcharged by any company that was willing to do this. And we actually received from a customer yesterday saying that we're doing 10x lower than what they're used to, and they're happy to close in 2 weeks. So it seems like the sales cycle tends to be shorter when we're talking to these people who are underserved.
And once the Mexico is being basically, what will be the next markets that you would plan to follow? Is it like the Latin America as a whole, South America, or in general, those are emerging markets, I guess, that you're pursuing, right?
Yeah, so we see 2 ways of going. We see Africa, Southeast Asia, and Latin America. We have a lot of experience in Latin America. I'm Brazilian, my co-founder is Mexican. Therefore, we understand the market a little bit better. after Mexico, like I said, we're starting with the South, right? But after we have Mexico in the pocket, our hope is to go into Colombia and maybe Ecuador, which also have big market caps here in Latin America. Brazil is a huge one, but it tends to be a little bit different. And there are some other players there who are trying to do kind of similar things. So it's also an exit possibility in the future, but something we're looking at right now.
Awesome, thank you.
Thomas, if I could, sorry, Lina, maybe you go first and I'll join later.
All right, thank you. Great pitch, thank you. So yeah, as Andra mentioned, as an Estonian, we kind of take it for granted how you can do everything online, but 7 hours is pretty crazy. So my question is, what's your sort of ambition? Are you planning to become something that builds the whole ecosystem for governments in LATAM, or are you going to focus on one very specific niche?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of ambitions. Like I said, our mission is to eliminate bureaucracy when we're talking in generic aspects. We joke around that our dream is to go to a different country and all the identities communicate and you don't even need a passport. But what we want to focus on right now is the government, we feel, because they are so underserved and the solutions are truly horrible, that we've done a lot of these here in the region. So we feel like this is something we want to focus on, really helping those who are very at the bottom and not optimizing the top. Ideally, when you optimize these procedures, you're creating a digital identity. We do that at the same time because they're storing their information in our app. So then after we have the information from people and they have that centralized and easily shared, we can work with other like private companies and other aspects of it to just create this whole ecosystem of digital identity and eventually become the go-to solution. That's what we want to in the region.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And follow up this with the standard question of the 130K. Where is that going to take you? I mean, the opportunity is huge, but what are you going to do with the money, basically?
Yeah, so we definitely want to invest a little bit more in sales and product, where we feel we're a little bit underserved today internally. And like I said, we want to get to 300,000 users. We focus more on users than MRR. That should take us to around 30K MRR is what we expect. And like I mentioned, it's kind of a bridge round, right? So it will take us until next year and give us that support to give that initial market validation, close these initial municipalities. So that's what we're hoping to get out of it.
So sorry, just to clarify, 300,000 users will make you 30K MRR.
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
So Thomas, thank you. You know, of course, we can appreciate the ambition, right? But I would like to add a pinch of salt, because it's a bit of detached from what you're raising. And you know, probably all of us here in the Baltics know that any government contract in tens of millions of euro, and there's a procurement process behind it, right? And there's an infrastructure that you have to connect to. So for me, it looks like what you're saying with this ambition, what you're raising, I cannot put it in my mind together, right? So can you tell us what is the kind of state at in terms of infrastructure and digital infrastructure? And because if I look at it very, you know, like from devil's advocate point of view, it looks like you have to build a different business. First of all, to hire a lot of developers and introduce the actual IT infrastructure, and then kind of plug in what you're doing. So are you not rushing ahead of the market in terms of government readiness, right? And maybe you should concentrate on the business, because now it's I cannot understand this. Can you clarify it for us?
Yeah, great question. So answering the first question is, the procurement only happens on state and federal level governments. Right now, we focus on municipalities because of the shorter sales cycle. So the one we're closing right now was 3 weeks, and we're expecting it to be around 5 to 8 weeks. We hope that by building from the municipality, the state will take notice of it, and we had meetings with the state, and then eventually we become the solution for the state, but we do it from the bottom up. In terms of technology, we don't feel today that we need to build the ID infrastructure technology to create a procedures platform, right? So today what we have is a platform that allows the people to interface with the government. So they input their information. We take a lot of safety precautions on top of that. So our engineers take care of that. And all we do is we send that request with payments or whatever they need for that specific procedure to the government, and the government prints it and archives it in whichever way they feel is best. So we're just doing that middleman, which used to be a cashier at a store. So right now we don't need too advanced technology for this. It's very, very straightforward. In the future, while we're storing user information, if we want to become a true digital identity, then yes, we need very strong infrastructure, working on top of blockchain and other things to become the go-to solution. But right now, we feel we can start this way, create this confidence, and then eventually move on to that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, jury. Oof, this was a tough one, right? But I'm glad that Thomas managed to answer all the questions. And if you feel like you need to follow up, make sure you do. But now let's move on to the next startup, which is Dserve. So when we met with Dserve team, we were still running our previous Accelerator batch. And we said to Vytautas, come on, let's go to Tech Chill together, you know, let's get to know each other. And he said, why not? I think it was like 1 or 2 days before the conference. And when we were there, we really instantly just loved the team vibe that was there. And we said, okay, let's do something great together. So Dserve is a team that is in love with food and tech, and they're trying to create something amazing out of those two. Vytautas, are you ready for your pitch?
Yes, thanks for a really warm introduction, Andra. And I can say likewise that I loved your team as well. And I felt that we instantly connected on the Tech Chill. So I'm really glad that you invited me to be there. Do you see my slides?
Yes, we can see them. Everything is good.
Okay, so I will start. So, cool. Hello, everyone. My name is Vytautas, and I'm from Dserve. I think you all know McDonald's. They are a leader in fast food. I don't know if you know, but their revenue is falling by 16% during the last 4 years. However, their market value is increasing by 80% or even by $60 billion. How's that possible? Well, the answer for that is self-checkout. Self-checkout helps them to increase all the different KPIs, and as a result, they're increasing their operating margin by 6%, and that's how they get the valuation. So why don't every business get self-checkout? Well, they would love that. 60% of businesses wants to get self-checkout. However, it's really complex and it's really expensive technology. So only 0.4% have it. So here we come. That's why we created Dserve. Our solution is really affordable and it's result-oriented. You can launch the Dserve system within 2 days, and it takes only 10 minutes to teach the personnel of your business. And we're really focused into what you need. So we're helping you to achieve your KPIs, might it be sales or cost reduction. And we're using machine learning for that. And as a result, typical ROI is even less than 3 months. So we're working everywhere in Lithuania, starting from typical fast food or business lunch to even sports bars, sports arenas, or petrol stations. And here I am in one of our customers, Circle K. This is first day of our trial. So during trial period, we help them to increase sales and even to cut personnel costs that they have. And that's why they're creating integration for us, which we will have next month. And it will allow us to work not only in Lithuania, but in all the Europe. And for example, Circle K is leader in Scandinavia and #2 player in USA with their petrol stations. This is our business MRR. Our business model is really simple. It's SaaS, and we have 7K MRR currently in the last month, and we're growing by 25%. We effectively doubled our MRR during Accelerator, and we plan to double it again to 14K in June. Right now it's only in Lithuania. So now we're working with all the different customers here, but we plan already this month, we're expanding to Sweden and UK, and eventually we want to conquer all Europe and America. And this is us. As you see, this is us in Accelerator. It's first day. This is amazing team that can achieve anything. So starting with Thomas on the left, he's also our full stack hacker who have 7 years of experience in development. Marius in the middle is sales guru. He has a lot of experience. He used to manage huge sales teams with hundreds of millions of sales. And I'm expert in finance and management. and I used to manage more than 1,000 people in multiple companies. But that's not it. We worked together for 7 years already. Well, we failed one startup already, and we all love food, as Andra said. So just a quick recap. We have a great team, amazing product, we have good traction, and we think it's the really good time to start such a business. But we still need your help. So we would like to ask interest to either fast food or petrol stations businesses, and more importantly to VCs, because we want to raise in 2 quarters. So we need VCs with expertise either in retail, hospitality, or fintech industries. So connect with me on LinkedIn and help us to achieve our dream. Thanks.
Hi, Vytautas. Thank you. Very cool product. Definitely a need for that, and makes sense that you can easily upsell. But my question for you is about the markets you've chosen next. So why Sweden and UK? Because I would say that I haven't been to Sweden for a while, but in UK, the self-checkout has been a thing for a while. So are you looking to replace current market players, or what is the angle and why?
Yes, thanks. Really good question. We have a lot of KPIs, and actually we have 5 leading markets, but out of those 2, UK and Sweden are our top priority markets. So yes, you're right, in UK, self-checkout has been there for a while. However, there is only one company in UK that's working with all the different customers, whereas mostly it's typical old school POS companies who are working with only their existing companies, so it's very easy to compete with them, or the customers that are creating self-checkout on their own, like McDonald's, but typically it takes several million of dollars, and typically they all fail. So by the way, we're choosing UK as the most competitive market here in Europe because we believe that we already have strong product, but it's also based on several other KPIs. So for example, this is based on GDP per capita, the average salary, average check value, which is really important for us because our company is offering upselling, and with upselling, we're increasing your sales. So, you know, if you're in UK, the increase in the sales that you get nominally is a couple of thousands of pounds per month. Whereas if you were, let's say, in Ukraine, the potential increase that you would get would be only a couple of hundreds. So that's why our solutions in UK is creating much bigger value.
Okay, thank you. But on the side of, let's say, if we look at countries where this is not so widely used already, I think you might have a better opportunity. So how have you thought about things like in the UK? So replacing a service takes time and effort for the company. And if you're looking at the big companies that you want to go after, how would you upsell yours to them? So basically you would need to tell them that you need to scrap your current POS service because ours is better. So how to approach that? What's the success story that you are expecting?
Yeah, so I understand your question. So, well, this is a challenge, as I said, but right now, only, as I said, only 0.4% of business have self-checkout. In UK, that percent is larger. It's close to 2% of business that you are using self-checkout. So number one, there is still a huge opportunity in the market. Number two, all our current customers are praising us for really great service and that we help them. We don't provide them product. We help them to reach their KPIs. And it works in the UK as well. We have already free leads. We don't have signed agreements yet, but all those clients that we work with, they all believe that we can bring so much better value on the table. Because as I said, we're offering lots of different tools, for example, upselling, which helps you to increase your sales. And this is based on machine learning and it generates better results than they do. So, but you're right on the other angle. We chose those 2 markets just to prove to everyone that we can perform very good outside of our home market. But actually looking forward, we have much bigger ambitions than only self-checkout. So we're thinking about other markets in the Europe, and we're thinking ideally what we want to achieve. We want to achieve the product that we would be able to sell not only to corporations like we do like right now, not only to enterprises, but to every small business. So we want to become square in self-checkout. So then definitely there are other markets that are really interesting for us, like France, Poland, and Germany.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so let's wrap up. We are running out of time a little bit, and thanks a lot, Vytautas, for your answers. Thank you, Lina, for the questions. let's move on to the next startup. And the next one is Team Properenty. So I don't know if you have noticed, but this year it seems like PropTech solutions are really booming. And when we first met with Andrus and with the whole Properenty team, which is Andrus and Mindaugas, they were just starting. They didn't even have the product yet. It was just the beginning of their journey, but we just really loved their attitude. We loved how fast they were moving, and we thought that these guys can definitely build something great. So now, without further ado, Andrus, are you ready? I see that we have you on the screen, but I think that you are on mute. Let's see if we can fix that.
Yes, I'm ready. I'm sharing my screen and we can start.
Very good, let's go.
So, hello, my name is Andrus Chepkus and I'm the co-founder of Properenty, the all-in-one long-term rent management platform. Even in this modern world, the average landlord with 100 properties spends around 85 hours per month to manage it properly. It's because still today, 90% of European landlords manage their entire rental portfolio entirely manually. Excel is still the king, even in bigger companies. The good news is that 75% of all activities can be automated. And that's exactly what Properenty does. We digitalize and cover all small and medium landlords' needs, from document sharing, signing, or communication, to fully automated billing, payments, contracts, tenant self-service space, and even local additional extra services. Currently, we are operating in Lithuania and Poland. Our long-term goal is to expand in Western European markets. And when we combine residential and commercial rent niches in which we operate, it's enormous market size in Europe alone. The KPMG rental market trends report shows that most of the real estate companies will invest in PropTech solutions in upcoming years, and the key drivers to invest is improved efficiency and cost reduction. That's exactly what we are focusing on. When you look closer, it's really early days for long-term rent management automation in Europe. There are products, but the most of available products are in very early stages and with very early funding. Most of computing solutions usually cover only one category needs, are too complex for small landlords or too simple for medium ones, and are limited with their in-house feature set. Our approach is different. We cover both commercial and residential needs in one solution because more and more companies are mixing their rental portfolios with commercial and residential real estate. We understand that rent requires additional services such as cleaning, repairs, credit scores, and etc. And we see ourselves as management platform with local third-party services hub, where landlords can access and manage everything in one place in Properenty. We pay attention and cover tenant needs, and we have a super fast setup. You can start using our platform immediately. No entry barriers. Our business model is premium. We have a basic version for small landlords and professional solution for medium ones. It's just 4 months since we launched our product, and today we have 600 registered premium landlords, 8 B2B deals signed, more than 1,000 MRR, and we're active in 2 markets, Lithuania and Poland. We plan to grow more than 100% in upcoming months. The company was founded by 2 brothers, me and Mindaugas, and almost all of those years of experience which you see in this slide comes from running our own businesses and startups. You can help us grow in 2 ways. First, by making intros with rental property owners and companies in Lithuania or Poland to let us solve their pains, or you can invest in our company. We will start raising a pre-seed round in the coming few months. So it's a good time to start talking. Thank you for your time. Feel free to contact me if you want to discuss it in more details. And now I'm ready for your questions.
Thank you, Andrus. Thank you, Andrus. Jury, are we ready? Do you have some questions for Andrus?
Sure, I'm happy to start. Thank you for presentation. I would have a couple of questions. First of all, have you tried to map to estimate the size of the market in terms of like the number of potential landlords that would fall into your category, and what would be the total available market for you guys?
Yeah, we try to do that. it's very hard because when we combine two niches, all the business centers and all the commercial premises and private landlords from small ones to big ones, we can't access all the numbers, but from our calculations, only in Baltics and Poland, we can target around 400, 500,000 MRR alone in those markets. And it's just a starting markets for us. We plan to go further with upcoming rounds.
Got it. And I guess that your product automates many tasks of the landlord, right? Meaning like the payments, the management of the properties, automated scheduling, etc. Are those all in-house developed, or are you using some third-party models in your solution?
The core solution and all the management features are in-house developed, and we are working constantly on them, adding each week and month new features. But as I mentioned, we also integrate third-party services such as repair apps, cleaning services, or additional credit scores, and etc. as third-party services. And landlords can access and use all those services in one platform. They don't need to switch through different apps and different environments.
Do you plan to, because providing access to third-party providers, service providers would enable you to create sort of marketplace and enable to monetize them? Is it the angle for you guys?
Yes, we see in the long term, yes, it's one of our goals and one of the opportunity which we see. And it's a big opportunity, to be honest.
And it's simultaneously potentially the channel for you through the big service providers, I guess. So I guess the last question would be, outside Baltics and Poland, which markets are in your roadmap?
We are still working on that, but the markets in which we are looking is France, Germany, and Italy. Those the big ones, and we see a lot of potential there because there are strong players in UK, and this is not a market for us. But other European markets are quite early stage competitors, and we can go there and show some results.
So those markets are pretty much untapped by the competition right now. So you need to move fast.
Yes, exactly. We need to move fast.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
If we have time, and Andrus, I will spare you, of how crowded this market is and all the other lecturing around it. So just tell me what drives you to do this business? What makes you dive into this? What is not working in the market for you to still think that you will deliver something very unique and you will gain this market? What is the secret that is not working?
It looks that it's crowded, but in reality, in all the cases, we compete with Excel. Even in Poland, in big market, we compete with Excel because landlords don't use those solutions. There are solutions. There are great, amazing solutions in United States, in United Kingdom, but they are suitable only for United States and only for United Kingdom. And those solutions, especially in PropTech, they must be locally adapted. It's a must. And that's why we see that there's a lot of potential, and that's why we believe that we can achieve great results here. And as I mentioned, all the local solutions in other European markets are very early stage, and I believe that there is a lot of space to move fast and become well-known name in this industry.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Andrus. Thank you, Juri.
Thank you.
By the way, Andrus, we have one question for you on YouTube, so make sure that you go there and answer that question. And now let's move on to the last startup in this group, which is ForPeeps. So a lot of the customer-facing fintechs that we meet say, right now we are doing this and that, but in the future we want to become a neobank. When we first heard about ForPeeps, we thought that they might be something similar. But actually, they are not, because they are building the ultimate banking app for all of your banks. Peep, are you ready to tell us more about what are you doing?
Yeah, certainly. So, hello. I am Peep Baum, CEO and the co-founder of ForPeeps. Let me introduce you to the best open banking application out there. that has more than 60 banks connected in 7 different countries. We help our users to manage their money better by giving them the ultimate overview that works across all the banks. And providing a basic banking features that every other bank application has. So do we, plus we add even more functionality, which is the invoice payments and including the PDF invoice payments that you can pay the PDFs with ease. But we are not stopping there, and the next logical step will be the AI-based, so to say, personal assistant who will not only show you what have you spent on, but give you the proactive tips how to spend wisely and save more. We are active in Baltics, and we want to launch a Poland. And this is mainly for thanks to the BDF service that we have. We have a market size of whole population of those 4 countries, like 44 million people. But by narrowing it down, we think that we can really obtain 1.3 million people with our aggregator application with the invoice service that we currently have. So challenges and competitors, every country has them, and both invoice-wise and as a payment methods. But since we are combining all the best features from all of them into the one application, we think that we have a great opportunity there. Our business model is membership subscription, $2.99 per month, which includes some awesome features, including this PDF service, and we hope to get 41,000 paid users by the end of this year. Current traction is great. Based on the 8 weeks in this year, we have grown our user base 8 times and will continue to do so. We have a team of 8 people, but the core team is beside me, my co-founder and my friend and experienced lawyer, Mikkel, and my son, who turned out to be an excellent, talented business developer. And of course, the startup Wise Guys that are in the team now. We launching our Funderbeam campaign in upcoming days. So behind this QR code is a simple sign-up form for this Funderbeam campaign. You can scan it and fill this up if you are interested. So, and don't forget to download the application. I'm Pep, and please contact me.
Hi, Pep. Nice to see you. So yeah, really cool app. Just wanted to clarify. So your plan is to reach 41,000 users this year. What is the revenue currently?
The current revenue is really small, and basically we are in the pre-revenue phase at the moment, actually.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so is the app currently free, or have you just launched, or what?
Yeah, the app is there, and app is available in all of those mentioned countries, and it's free. Yeah, absolutely. So the PDF service is part of the membership package, but otherwise all the other features are free to use.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and let's say looking forward, your plan was Poland, but say bigger picture further on the line. What are you expecting, and what is the plan? Do you want to become a market leader, or do you plan to exit as being sold to a bank, or what are the thoughts?
Yeah, our plans is to be a market leaders and then sold to somebody bigger as an exit. So, but yeah, we already have shown excellent like scalability, right? And the plan is to be in every EU country by the end of next year. So that's doable. That's the first plan. But in terms of exit, yeah, of course. So exit is probably a bigger bank and or card issuing company. So yeah.
Okay.
And Pip, hi, Pip. Can you tell us a bit? It looks again. We'll spare you about how crowded it is, right? And how many PSD2 players are after this market.
Yeah, we know.
How many? Yeah, exactly. So can you tell us what is the big vision for you? Why you do this? Why you think there's a space and a need for this? What's the and what's your bigger vision? What's the end goal? What you want to change? What you want to build? What is the unique stuff you want to do?
Yeah, well, the bigger vision is to provide really user friendly and feature set. Let's say Revolut kind of feature set. They have the money, right? They have the great features. So, but the banks usually doesn't have that. And even the biggest one and even the most popular one in our region, they have pretty good applications, but they are not concentrating to the users, right? So our vision is to get this attitude and apply it like to all the banks. That there's no difference what bank customer you are, but you can use the Revolut kind of like feature set, neobank great feature set. So that's the vision here.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So just to follow on the previous question. So as far as I understand, the goal is to provide the superior user experience with additional features such as aggregated data analytics, ability to automatically pay invoices, etc. Right? That's the value added for the end customer. So my question would be, because you have already have some users, how active they are on the platform? Have you tried to do some unit economics analysis? Is there active usage of the application? Because download of application is just first step, right? The most important, I guess, unit economics or to measure would be the retention and monthly active users or weekly active users. So what's your take on that, and what are the reviews of the users, and what kind of features are you planning to roll out in the future to build upon this value added?
Yeah, thank you for your question. So yeah, absolutely. So the user base is not that big at the moment that there's could be the specific like numbers, but we are like keeping the eye, of course, the retention rates and churn rates, but users that have used the application, especially paid their invoices with the application, they are like really satisfied, and I have like lots of user feedback saying that they have never paid their invoices on time, and now when they use ForPeeps they do that. So it's amazing, right? So but the open banking, whole open banking it's a baby at the moment. So there are like a lot of problems with all those APIs and stuff. So we are getting better every day, and I hope that the churn rate and all those important numbers will be better and better. But they are actually pretty good at now. But in terms of features, I already mentioned the personal assistant thing, but the installments and investments will be next on the line to add to our platform ForPeeps.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Pep. Thank you, Jury, for your questions. I see that it's getting dark in Estonia, and actually it's similar here in Lithuania, but we don't have too many startups left. So if you feel like you need some energy, stand up, grab a glass of water, and let's continue. Right now, I want to say thank you for our second group of jury, and I would like to invite the third group of jury who will listen to the last 3 pitches of today. So, Camille Zivray, Associate at Inventure, Kasper Suomalainen, Investment Manager at Superhero Capital, and Vytautas Kubilius, Country Manager for Baltics at Google. Welcome, guys. And the first startup to pitch in this new group is Kernel Lab. So, every team that we talk with have to pass a technical due diligence. You know, we check the product, we check the code, we check how they're building stuff. And when our technical geek was checking the product of Kernel Lab, the result came back 11 out of 10. So we thought, you know, wow, they must be building a really good product. But to top that up, they also have an amazing team that we just really clicked instantly with. So, Vachtangas, can you tell us more about Kernel Lab? Are you ready?
Sure, I am. Hi, guys. Thank you very much for the warm intro. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen and we can hear you. So let's go.
Cool, perfect. So hi, guys. My name is Vachtangas, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Kernel Lab. Here at Kernel Lab, we enable brands to deliver embedded finance and fintech products. But what is embedded finance and what opportunities does it unlock? For entrepreneurs hoping to launch a fintech company, there are many regulatory requirements, complexity, it's costly, and it can take ages to set up the infrastructure. Furthermore, embedded finance products aren't just designed for entrepreneurs focused on launching their next fintech startup. Existing tech companies have already started leveraging the power of embedded finance. Take Shopify with their lending product, Lyft doing credit cards, or Uber with Uber Money. We have built an API-first platform with a banking core functionality to be able to offer banking as a service solution. Kernel Lab works for banks and brands as AWS for software companies. So any company can leverage our solution to reduce costs and complexity, better serve, better retain their clients, and drive more margin. By offering a solution which allows companies to embed financial services into their business models, we are tackling a market which is estimated to grow more than 60% compoundly for the upcoming 10 years. This is officially the largest untapped market in the industry. Of course, there are other market players going for this opportunity, but we believe that we are perfectly positioned to take the biggest market share. We will win the competition by offering no setup fees, better time to market, and offering an out-of-the-box solution. We have already signed our first fintech contract, and 2 more are in the final stage of closing. Next month, we will be starting our fundraising round of 800K to hire more superstars, expand the product, and achieve 100K MRR in 14 months. So we have a battle-tested and diverse team of industry professionals combining more than 15 years of experience working together, several fails, and 2 successful exits. Every company will be a fintech company is a thesis by Andreessen Horowitz. We strongly share the idea, and we're looking for a like-minded partner to join us on the mission of becoming the next Stripe of banking. Thank you very much. Happy to answer all of your questions.
Thank you, Vachtangas. Thanks a lot for the pitch. Jury, we are ready for your questions.
maybe I can kick, or you go.
No, go ahead. You're unmuted first.
Yeah, maybe I can kick it off. That you're building a pretty comprehensive package, and Andra mentioned about your technology. Are you doing every single thing yourself? Are you doing identity verification yourself as well, or could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so in terms of the tech, like we have been building for like almost 2 years. So the core of the technology is the banking core, and on top of that, we are building other features like payments, user like onboarding, wallets, currency exchange, lending modules, and etc. So it's actually case by case. Our technology is like modular and like API first, so it works as Lego bricks.
All right, thanks.
Hey Vaktangas, good to see you. So where's the money? No setup fees, super fast deployment. How are you actually going to make the money?
Yes, so thank you for the question. Our current business model, as like we're currently like tackling licensed financial institutions, is purely SaaS. The contracts are generally 3 or 4 year contracts with 8 to 12K per month, making one client like LTV of 400K, not like talking about like additional developments, which usually also like are required. So money is there, and next step, like we're thinking also about options of like pay-per-go like pricing and like other options. So yeah.
Thanks a lot for your pitch. My question would be more on trying to, position you in this huge market that you mentioned. So you have embedded payment, you have embedded insurance, you have embedded lending. What is your strategy in terms of positioning yourself in this market? And second is, what is your go-to-market strategy?
Yeah, so first of all, I would like to, mention that we, as also the other market players, are in the discovery phase of things, because indeed this is a huge and a fresh market for all of us. So first of all, like we will be pushing the embedded payments part, and in terms of like positioning and like go-to-market strategy. So far, most part of our leads are coming through like referrals and partnering companies, agencies, law firms, and etc. But like we have already started the outbound sales part. So it will take a couple of months to see what like actually like works and not.
So is there a segment that you're particularly excited about, or that you already see some early traction on?
So as the first like stage of our company, like as I said, like currently like we're tackling the financial license holders and offering the banking core for these companies.
Okay. So Vaktangas, thank you so much for the pitch. Thank you for answering the questions. Jory, I must say that I'm really digging your backgrounds. Everything is branded, you're looking awesome. And I just wanted to let everyone know that there is just so much buzz going on the chat. There is so much support coming from the ecosystem. So startups, if you haven't checked that out, make sure that you do. And the next startup to pitch today is IPO Hub. So during our selection process, we have met IPO Hub in Latitude 59 conference in Tallinn, and they asked us, how did you guys find us? But I must say that we are quite proud that sometimes we do manage to find those gems when no one else really knows about them yet. What we really liked about IPO Hub was that they were solving a problem that came from personal experience. And I'm sure that Silver, who I see is already ready to pitch, will tell you more about IPO Hub and their goal. So Silver, are you ready?
I am ready. Thank you, Andra. So as said, name is Silver and this is IPO Hub. I know it's been a long day, but bear with me. You're gonna hear the pitch of a day. So imagine you had a chance to buy into Apple back in 1980 when it first IPO'd. If you invested 1,000 euros, it would be worth 1.2 million today. Would you do it? Would you want to be first to know? Now, there are opportunities like these available on the SME growth markets today, but you as a retail investor are missing out because you lack the access to the market. Also, there are gatekeepers who are pleasing someone who's more privileged than you. And getting an access to real-time data is almost impossible because the data is fragmented and very much localized. We, as a retail investors, decided to do something about it. It's time to level the playing field. Thereby, we created a marketplace where institutional investors and retail investors has the same access to the same opportunities, markets, and information. IPO Hub tomorrow will be fully automated marketplace for issuing and buying SME shares. Nobody really tries to solve this problem today. The main players on the market are geographically limited, slow, and expensive banks and investment banks who do not provide timely information. In comparison, IPO Hub is a pan-European, cost-effective, one-stop shop. There are over 30 SME markets in Europe containing over 4,000 SME growth companies. And it's estimated that there is about 60 million retail investors. We see that we can capture 1.2 million investors with an ARR of 140 million euros. Our business model is B2C premium, where we capture the customers with a free account, sign them up for a premium later. In both cases, trading fees will apply for trading instruments. We currently fully cover Nordics, which will give us an access to about 3 million retail investors. Our next step is Central and Western Europe, which will add an access to another 35 million retail investors. We're also currently growing 55% month over month in customer signups, and our goal is to get to 100,000 customers in Nordics, Central and Western Europe in 18 months. On top of managing sales and marketing skills, you also need to have in-depth knowledge into SME market kitchen side, as well as practical market experience. Childhood friends Silver and Wally and his brother Alex have that fully covered in their core team. We're currently seeking for 400,000 euro investment that will be used to sign up 100,000 customers, get the MRR up to 48,000 euros, and that's all done in 18 months. Name is Silver. Here are my contact details. You can get me in touch with me later. Thank you.
Hey, Silver, thank you so much. This is cool. But so just to be clear, you are a news organization.
No, we're not. We're not Reuters. We're not next Reuters.
So what are you? I mean, you are accruing a ton of very interesting data, and then you are charging the users either nothing or 5 euros a month. Is there plan, is there stage 2? Are you going to become traders? Is there another rollout of new products, or is that the idea just to be the best in providing the users the information?
So the end goal here is to streamline the entire process, to bring the retail investors closer to the companies, because the companies right now, the SME companies who are doing the IPOs, they're pretty much virgins. They don't know nothing about it, the process. There are middlemen who are charging an arm and a leg. They're losing somewhat around 15 to 25% of their capital when they're doing an IPO. And it's mostly crowded by retail investors, institutional investors by the end of the day, because retail investors don't have an access. So 5 years or 2 years or 1 year down the road, when you're doing a new issue as an SME company, you're still in the same spot because You have only institutional investors. You don't have an aftermarket, active aftermarket. You don't have a popularity, and therefore you're turning again towards the emittents, asking to do the same thing, giving away same amount of money and so on. So we see that we can streamline that process, bring the retail investor closer to the SME companies, give them opportunity to actually communicate with each other and actually talk with each other. I know it sounds crazy, but and also like getting the cost down through that. So the companies can directly go to retail investors and do the IPO through that. So we are a trading platform, we're a news platform, we're aggregator platform. We're putting all of that together.
To what extent would you say that the issue with liquidity in the SME segment is due to lack of data compared to, also feeling more secure investing in those companies that you actually know? And second is then how big is your market right now, both in terms of users, but also how you actually make money, given that it's a low transaction fee that you're taking. You need to have like a huge amount of users and transactions to actually make big revenue.
Very loaded question, a lot of questions there. So I'll try to answer from the beginning. So first of all, like you asked that how big of the problem or how much is the problem because of there isn't enough players on the market today, right? So
or not transparency or lack of data.
Yeah. So like that's a huge issue. And we see that, like talking with the retail investors, talking with the investors who are participating on the market, and those are usually very like local investors. So let's talk about Sweden here, right? Like they're saying that they like SMEs because it gives a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of growth there. There can be like 5 times growth from the IPO to the first trading day. And like every investor craves that, right? But as an Estonian, I'm Estonian and we're owned by Swedish banks. So therefore it makes sense that I could invest into Sweden like easily. It's a very difficult process for me, close to impossible. So even though I do want to do that and I see the opportunity, and we are a bit of like freaks in this company because we found it the way we found it, the information. Now we want to offer that to other retail investors as well. But still you're lacking the tools to actually do the investment. And that's why the middlemen also are turning towards the institutional investors because it's much easier that way. Like you're dealing with only few, they're giving the money instead of dealing with a bunch of like small investors, and then you have like a bunch of problems there as well. So by solving this issue, we see that the liquidity will go up. There is interest because if we're looking at different types of investment instruments today, being a crowdfunding or regular stock market or even crypto, like there is an interest there, it's growing. So people are looking for new investment objects, right? But now there's no tools and it's not a legal issue, it's technical issue.
All right, and you, or did someone else have something?
No, we're actually running out of time a little bit. So I wanted to say thank you, Silver, for the pitch, and thank you, Jury, for the questions. Maybe you can also follow up with Silver and shoot that final question to him. But let's move to the last, but definitely not the least, pitch of today, and that is Waterlook. So Waterlook is building a software as a service solution for beauticians. And if you think that this is hard, add COVID to the picture. So for these guys, it was quite a journey during the past few months, but they proved that they are real rock stars and nothing can put them down. So I see that we have Justas already getting ready for the pitch. Justas, all you have to do is unmute yourself and we can get going. Are you ready? Almost. We are getting there.
Almost, yeah. Yeah.
Very good. Let's go.
Okay. Hello, everyone. So my name is Justas. I'm one of the co-founders at Watalook, a new home for beauty freelancers. 50% of all beauticians in Europe work as freelancers, but they don't have a proper tool to manage their beauty services business. One of them is Sandra, a nails artist who recently quit her full-time job at a beauty salon and decided to work as an independent beautician. Unfortunately, she had to start completely from scratch since all of the client data belonged to that particular beauty salon. Of course, without any knowledge in digital marketing and a very low budget, she couldn't run marketing campaigns to generate new client volume. After a while, she finally managed to get some traction, but the problem was that all of her clients were making appointments, calling her by phone, and she couldn't accept all of them. Luckily, she found Waterlook, all-in-one SaaS mobile application that allowed her to grow and manage her beauty business efficiently. Not only it allowed her to keep her client data with her, Waterlook also run performance marketing campaigns directly to her profile, generating new clients every month. Speaking about our competition, we have some really great competitors that have great products, but with key differences such as client data migration, where all the data belongs to the beautician independently where he or she works, personalized data about each of the beautician clients, and smart algorithm that eliminates time gaps, Waterlook is setting a huge footprint in the market. Our business model is quite simple. We charge 20 euros per month for our tool, and we take 30% commission fee for every first new booking that was generated by Waterlook. In the last 10 months, we managed to achieve some great things. 31,000 appointments, 800 beauticians, 5,000 reviews, and 950,000 euros worth of beauty appointments. In the upcoming 2 weeks, we are expanding our product to United Kingdom, Italy, and Spain. And in the upcoming 12 months, our goal is to fully onboard 3,200 beauty professionals, as well as generate 65,000 euros in monthly recurring revenue and 150,000 euros in commission fee per month. And in order to achieve all of those goals, we're raising around of 800,000 euros. And here you can see a small portion of our team. Myself and my co-founder, Claudius. We're working together for 6 years and we have one exit together. And to finish this off, I would like to do it with a statement that we at Waterlook believe that Waterlook is as good as beauticians we have on our platform. We treat them as rock stars because each of them is the real MVP and not a beauty salon. Thank you very much.
Justus, thank you so much. That's a very sharp presentation. So congrats on building this platform. Can you tell me a little bit more about the advertising aspect? So I understand that this may be one of the key differences from your competition. What is it that you're doing? What are you able to pull off for that 20 euro per month subscription fee in terms of results for your rock stars?
Yeah. So for 20 euros subscription fee, you only provide our mobile SaaS application. And in order, if they want to receive a new client volume, they have to apply to our marketing campaigns, where then we will run those performance marketing and generate new clients every month for them through different social media channels.
Okay, so it's a completely separate business line for you.
Yeah, because we can differentiate two sides of the beauticians we have. Ones that we need only a tool to manage their business, and others that need new clients as well. So we separate those two businesses in this case.
How many of the current 800 beauticians that you have are opting in for that?
Well, we didn't launch it like fully because we need to also launch our admin tool where we can manage their content that they have on their profile. So, but we are planning to do it in the upcoming week.
Okay, but so then with the rest of the product, you are in head-to-head competition with everyone else, Treatwell, etc.
Yes, exactly. But as of now, we're only operating in Lithuania, and in the upcoming few weeks, we're scaling our product to those different markets such as United Kingdom, Italy, and Spain.
Continuing on the expansion and scaling, and you've tackled one market currently. When you look at the scaling playbook, how are you going to scale? What's the plan to enter the 3 markets?
So we base our business completely on performance marketing. That will allow us to scale even faster and test different markets. And as well, in this particular case, we're hiring country managers so they could build affiliate partnerships, because in the beauty industry, there is a lot of mouth-to-mouth growth in general.
One question on how you see the market in terms of, evolving from this salon typical stage to one that is more gig worker. Where do you want to position yourself in that trend? Do you want to be leading this trend or more accompanying those? My question goes to more than what is your go-to-market strategy in terms of targeting already freelancers versus pulling out of those salons, also like your rock stars?
Yeah, so the freelance industry in general is growing rapidly at the moment. and there is no exception in the beauty industry. Specifically in UK, for example, a lot of beauty salons are moving to the freelance-based model, where they are hiring beauty freelancers and renting their chairs. So we see a lot of potential there, and we position ourselves completely as a beauty freelancer product built for them. But even though a recent case we had here in Lithuania, that one of the beauty salons that is quite big here in Lithuania approached us and asked to help them onboard their beauticians as well, so that they could use our product. So it shows that even though we're positioning ourselves towards the beauty freelance industry, it's also applicable to the beauty salons as well.
And so looking at also what the pain points for the beauticians, beyond marketing, what other services could you use or like offer them in terms of maybe, you know, finance management or side products? Have you thought also about it?
So as of now, if we compare ourselves to our competitors, we provide a personalized data about each of their clients. So that means frequency, revenues, last appointments, last reviews, and plenty of other things, where our competitors are basically providing just the general data about their business. That allows them to build a closer relationships with their clients. And at the same time, I forgot what I wanted to say. But yeah, definitely we give a lot of attention to the beauticians, and we position ourselves to help them to build and grow their business.
Thank you, Justas. Thank you, Justas.
Okay.
Thank you, jury. We are out of time. I love how many questions we have, and actually, if you check on YouTube, Justas, there are quite a few questions over there, so you might want to answer those. But I would like to thank everyone, the jury, the startups, and all of you who have watched the pitches today. It was a pleasure to have you here. So for our investors in the audience, if you have registered for the exclusive opportunity to connect with our founders online, expect to hear from us in the next few days. If you haven't, but you changed your mind, and after seeing the pitches, you decided that you want to connect with the startups, just drop us a message. But before we go, I would like to invite you to take a look at what those 4 or 5 almost months of acceleration program has been from the eyes of the startups, the partners, and our team. And thank you once again for joining us today. It was a blast.
We were lucky to start a Wise Guys Fintech program with 11 startups on site.
It was amazing to see each other every day, to share challenges and to celebrate.
Due to the recent circumstances, we had to move fully online.
It didn't stop us to deliver a strong and valuable program to the startups.
During the program, the teams have met with more than 100 mentors, had 50 workshops, and participated in more than 10 events.
And now, they are ready for next steps, new opportunities and challenges.
There is no one best thing about this accelerator. It's one of the best business school in the world that you can get right now. And I'm very happy that Properenty had an opportunity to be the part of it. Thank you, guys.
Actually, it was like having second home and family all these 5 months. So thank you very, very much.
Of course, we found new friends, the bear offered, because bear is super important actually in the startup scene. But yeah, the mentors, the SVG team, all the participants, shout out to everyone. It was a pleasure actually to be in this batch with you guys.
Startup Wise Guys Accelerator is like university. Experienced mentors, crazy founders, and great energy.
But unlike a university, it's full of practical theory and really brilliant minds of other teams.
Your business is going to be shaped in every possible way. Every stone is going to be turned around, making sure you're going to be successful in the future.
When the words run out and you're not sure what to say at your pitch, you can just start high-fiving people and it'll be pretty cool and they'll really get your business model. So
you always feel supported, you always feel respected, and you have this feeling that you can achieve anything that you want to achieve. Shoot for the stars, land on the moon. In MRR we trust, guys.
Here in St. Petersburg, we say that Peter the Great opened a window to Europe for our city. And I would like to thank the SVG team for opening a European window to Payze. The best thing in Accelerator was a great balance between work, learning, and people.
All the other teams, they were amazing. We met so many talented and enthusiastic specialists and entrepreneurs from all across the industries.
It's been an amazing time working with all of you, and I'm so happy to see how much you guys develop. Best regards from EBRD from London here. And one tip that I'll give you guys for the future, be open-minded and never give up. And the second one is, I know New York is attractive, I know London is attractive, but never forget about our countries of operations. They are also very hungry of fintech solutions and can provide a good platform for development of your business. Take care and see you soon.
One tip is to identify key metrics to reach in 6 months and stay razor sharp in your work reaching those KPIs. And don't forget, reach out to us here in Stockholm. We love entrepreneurs.
Work hard, think globally, and by the end of the day, everything will be okay. And if it's not okay, it's not the end. And remember, no matter what you're doing, it must be fun. Cheers.
Do not underestimate the power of advertising. It's often not the best product that wins, but rather the best advertised one.
Please not always be open for good and insightful discussions with peers, clients, partners, mentors, and investors. You never know where those can lead you and what opportunities those might create.
Keep at it. Stay resilient. Don't get too discouraged and trust in yourself. You already have proven that you can produce significant results, so just stay the course.
Never sign a document without understanding its main terms and risks enough. One additional tip, always have the best alternative when negotiating for an agreement, so you can step back if it comes to that.
Hello guys! We hope that you feel so much wiser after the program. It was our pleasure to join forces with Startup Wise Guys family this year and welcome you all to the most rocking fintech community in Vilnius. We were really thrilled having you together with us. But guys, nothing's really end. So pedal to the metal and don't be afraid of bumpy roads.
Be playful. You make the industry go high-tech. Fintech is not only an enabler, but the driving force. So may the force be with you.